Are you able to help me?
I cannot help. But I can sell your fancy suit.
Here to gawk at the bloater?
Not at all, officer. Perhaps I can help.
Help with what exactly? Solving an accident? Fellow drank himself to death, literally. Case closed. It's not the first case, neither. A few days ago, another drunken sailor drowned himself in a fountain.
What can you tell me about the other sailor?
Nothing to tell. Some rich chap complained about a dead body in a fountain. Wasn't me who inspected the scene, though. Should have gone easy on the bottle, if you ask me. They get to shore, they start drinking like fish. Too bad booze doesn't make them grow gills, eh?
I would like to take a look around.
Go ahead. Just don't disturb the evidence, all right? I still have to write my report.
See you later, officer. The water is shallow and the slope is smooth. One would have to be dead drunk to drown here. His whole body is tense, stiffened by rigor mortis. A kiss on the forehead is quite intimate, but the vulgar lip rouge suggests a different type of intimacy. Interesting.
Who is it?
The face is frozen in a contorted smile. His fingers are clenched as if he's clutching to life even now. Worn, soaked boots, size 8. Something smells fishy here, and it's not brine.
Who is it?
It's a good thing the tide hasn't washed away the tracks. I should inspect them more closely. Siren's song. The rumours weren't so absurd after all. There's still some left, just enough for a tipple. The sediment contained cyanide. It turns out he was poisoned.
Didn't the copy say that fellow drank himself to death? He wasn't wrong.
Light tobacco with a hint of citrus. A bright red lip rouge mark.
Who is it?
What now? I've still got my report to write, to make it quick.
See you later, officer.
What now? I've still got my report to write, to make it quick.
I hate to break it to you, officer, but it wasn't an accident.
Care to elaborate, smarty boots?
The bottle of wine I found near the victim had been poisoned with cyanide. He was dead before he hit the water.
Whoa, that's a twist. Any leads on the poisoner?
Nothing to put my finger on, but I might need to inspect the other drowned sailor.
Well, of course I won't stop you. It's not my case anyway. We had a complaint about a body in a fountain. Can't have bodies laying about in fountains, can we? It was somewhere in Scaladio, as far as I know. You think they're connected?
That is what I intend to find out. Thank you.
Oh, look, they drained the fountain and removed the body. We're too late.
No matter, we'll work with what we have.
Drowning in a 2 feet deep fountain? I've seen some things, but this really takes the biscuit. Drowning in a 2 feet deep fountain? I've seen some things, but this really takes the biscuit.
A cotton shawl. Could it be our sirens? Last week's newspaper, the front page reads, "Sky's the limit, Governor funds Arsenal's second airship." A bright red lip rouge mark. Light tobacco with a hint of citrus. A broken bottle with no label. The victim won't be needing his cap anymore. I might as well take it. This wine, again. Don't sailors prefer spirits? Drained to the last drop. Ugh, the litter bin is right there. A worn leather tobacco pouch, salt stained from a long time at sea.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
This sailor is another victim of the same woman. She poisoned him and pushed him into the fountain to make it look like an accident.
Sherlock, the spot where he fell, I saw something. Maybe you should take a look.
Venetian copper soldi, authentic but worthless.
Blimey, the great detective is baffled by a piece of cutlery.
A water-soaked matchbox from the Drinking Dutchman. Must be a local pub.
I'm shipping up to Boston in a few days.
What can I get you, mate?
Nah, I'm good. Don't want to end up like that guy who drowned in the fountain after having one too many.
Aye, I know the fella. Shame, damn shame. But let me tell you, it wasn't the drink that got him. 'Twas a curse.
Let me guess. It had something to do with the siren?
No way, mate. That's just a daft superstition. I'm talking about a real curse here. He was from HMS Achilles. Some British schooner, nothing special. Except one of them Jack Tars shot an albatross. Everyone knows it's bad luck. Everyone. The dimwit brought the curse upon his whole crew. 3 are dead already.
Wait, I've heard of only 2 such accidents. Are you saying that another man drowned?
Drowned or not, they've all kicked the bucket. Just this morning, another member of the crew was found dead. It's a curse, I'm telling you.
Now we're obliged to find out if it's real.
It must indeed be the curse, but how do you know all that?
Why, he told me the whole story himself.
The victim told you?
His crewmate. The one who killed an albatross, Harry Thorne. He's renting a room upstairs. Every day, he gets completely rat-arsed, raving on and on about the bird around his neck. He's sleeping it off right now. But when the blighter wakes up, it'll be the same thing all over again.
Do you have a free room?
Certainly do. Dirt cheap. Here's the key. Go pick anyone you like.
Barkeep, another one over here.
This place stinks.
Well, if it ain't Mr. Smarty Boots. Guess what? You were right about the poisoning, but this time I'm ahead of the game. We've got another homicide on our hands. Same method, same everything. See for yourself.
He suffered a head wound. There's caked blood in his hair underneath all the mud. A sharp, bloody rock stuck deep in the mud. The officer must have rolled the body over. An empty bottle of rum. There'd be no sirens. Looks like he slipped. This was clearly an accident.
What did I tell you? We've a killer on the loose. I knew it.
That may be true, but this here is very clearly an accident. The victim slipped and hit his head on a rock. I would have thought it obvious.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. I thought I had all this sewn up. But you just had to come along and make me look like an idiot. I hope you're happy now, genius. Just move along.
So it was a curse after all. Curse of clumsiness. I hope it's not contagious.
Oh, it smells of stale cigarettes and damp bed sheets. Not exactly the best place to stay in town. Oh, the smell alone makes me feel groggy. The photo of the cursed crew. Here's Thorne, and right next to him, our first drowning victim. Crew of HMS Achilles, Cordona, 1879.
The same as we saw earlier. She's pretty free with her kisses.
Perhaps too much for her own good.
Now we walk into a trap, guns blazing. The game is afoot, Sherry boy.
Well said.
Oof,
I think I'll borrow that line from you, old chum.
Oof, he's really gone on a binge.
He's out cold. No use trying to wake him.
Come on over, lovey. Don't be shy. I can see you're up for some fun. Madame Pauline will see you right. Girls, boys, a bit of both. Whatever tickles your pickle, darling.
I'm looking for the girl who wrote this letter. Perhaps you know who she might be?
Let me see. No, I don't know, lovey. I have a Lizzie here, but I doubt she can even spell her own name. And what's all this nonsense about a special client? This is a business we're running here, not a charity. I don't see what you're getting at.
Some other time, perhaps.
Nice to see you.
Some other time, perhaps.
Now we walk into a trap, guns blazing. The game is afoot, Sherry boy.
Well said. I think I'll borrow that line from you, old chum.
Come on over, lovey. Don't be shy. I can see you're up for some fun. Madame Pauline will see you right. Girls, boys, a bit of both. Whatever tickles your pickle, darling. What's that got to do with me?
I'm looking for the girl who wrote this letter. Perhaps you know who she might be?
Let me see. No, I don't know, lovey. I have a Lizzie here, but I doubt she can even spell her own name. And what's all this nonsense about a special client? This is a business we're running here, not a charity.
I'm looking for a specific girl. This is her shawl. Do you have any idea where she might be?
Ah, I know who you mean. It's the goody two shoes down the street. She's not one of mine, though. She's not even a working girl, if I say so myself. Trust me, lovey. We'll give you a much better time.
I don't doubt it, Ma'am, but I have to see her first. Thanks for your help.
Yeah, I think we should interrogate some of them. Well, hell, all of them.
Harry, it's you! I knew you'd come. It's been so long, but you haven't changed a bit. I don't suppose you remember me, do you?
You must be Eloisa, yes? I got your letter.
Wonderful. No point beating around the bush, then. I've missed you, love. I wonder if you still have your prowess. Why don't we go to my place for some wine and something extra?
How could I refuse such an offer from a pretty girl like you? Let's go right now.
Wonderful. Follow me. It's not far from here. Well, here we are. Make yourself comfortable, love. There's wine on the table. You should have some, loosen you up. Bring out your naughty side.
Won't you drink with me?
Absolutely. I'll join you in a minute. I just need to powder my nose.
All right then. I'll be waiting for you, pet.
Did you just call her pet? Seriously? Boy, you are truly hopeless, Sherlock.
Siren's song. She is consistent, I'll give her that. The bottle was open and the cork replaced.
Hey, if you want to keep this stupid act up, hurry up, she'll be out any second.
HMS Achilles, Friday, 5 p.m. She prepared for their arrival. The beloved child of a rich family.
Come on, hurry up. This lip rouge looks good on her. Just saying.
White powder with a bitter almond-like odour. These are no smelling salts. It's cyanide. Ah, she's smoking citrus-flavoured cigarettes. The dots connect.
Oh, here she comes.
Sorry for making you wait, sweetie. I hope the wine has kept you good company.
Oh, yes. I needed to wet my whistle real bad.
But the bottle is full. You didn't even take a sip. Come on, drink it. I insist.
I have to decline. I believe the contents may be detrimental to my health.
Wait, what's happening?
It's time I drop my act. This beard is false. I'm not Harry Thorne.
Oh, I see. You're from the police then, yes? Here to question me?
There's no need. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I know that you killed Thorne's crewmates, and I know why.
Well, Mr. Holmes, you can save your breath. I won't deny a thing. But please stop tormenting me with this farce. Do what you must.
I'm afraid I must turn you into the police, miss.
The police, you say? The police who didn't lift a finger to bring my abusers to justice. How are they any better than those animals? No, I won't give you the satisfaction.
That's a pity, but thanks. We'll send the coroner.
Mr. Holmes, you came. Oh, how kind. Though now, of course, I realize it is because of my game, not the works on display.
It needn't be one or the other. Your man's disguise was easily debunked, Mr. Vogel, but I shall admit that you planted in me the seed of curiosity.
Ah, terrific! I had no doubt you'd put the pieces together. Let us call it an opening gambit before the real game begins.
So, this little game of yours, what's it about?
An enigma to solve. A locked area in the basement with no windows found brutally vandalized. I have no clue how it was possible.
What about this intrusion? What happened?
Last night, I was about to leave the gallery when I heard a noise downstairs. I went to the basement, but I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. It was admittedly a rudimentary inspection. It is not uncommon to get rats down there, so seeing nothing of note, I left and locked up the building. When I returned this morning, alas, I discovered that part of the exhibition had been torched, and there was no sign of the intruder. The mystery being, of course, that all the doors to the gallery were locked exactly as I left them.
And the door to the basement is the only entrance?
Correct. Tell me you're not intrigued.
And this locked area downstairs, what exactly was it?
The under gallery. It's always shut, and I'm the only one with the key.
Ah, so this is your private collection, not part of the gallery.
Oh, no. It's an exclusive exhibition of eccentric pieces. Only a select cadre of artists, investors, and collectors are admitted. Not everyone deserves to have their eyes opened.
Well, this matter is certainly within my wheelhouse.
This intrusion troubles me. Please take a look around if you're willing. The under gallery is through the door at the end.
I will see what I see.
You sure you don't like art, Sherry? Back home, we've got a taxidermist. He's gonna have a heart attack when he sees what I bring him.
A simplistic attempt at provocation. Old, and hasn't been used for a long time. The left step's length is shorter than the right. It indicates that the walker was lame. Closed with a metal bolt. Footprints. Size 9.5. A true artist never shows an unfinished piece.
Sherry, how about some company in that dreary chamber of yours?
Leave my loneliness unbroken, John. A handprint of the thing from another world. But it looks fresh, and its coal origin ruins the effect of the extra mundane. Sodden and mould-ridden. One presumes deliberately. The parasites of creativity. or just a reflection of the artist's recreational interests. Saturn devouring his sun. Oh, grim composition.
Unflinching in its ferocity, yet somehow beautiful.
Ugh, sheer vandalism. Only an ignorant person could do such a thing. Coal fingerprints. I think we're looking for a man with a coal moustache. A Malpalbot. The intruder entered the basement through the coal chute. He used a magnet to open the hatch bolt. He accidentally pushed a shovel to the floor. Vogel heard the noise. At the sound of his approaching footsteps, the intruder hid inside the coffin. When Vogel entered the basement, he failed to notice anything strange and left without properly checking. The intruder waited until Vogel had left the caravanserai before burning the paintings in Wilde's room, but the vandalism was a cover for the theft. The pieces are not what I expected.
What do you think my collection is about?
It's a reflection on mortality. Nothing lasts forever, no beauty sustains itself, and everything succumbs to darkness. Am I right?
I don't know.
Well, that's absurd. Of course you know. It's your gallery.
There is no one answer, no singular truth, but many filtered through the subjective mind. That forgetting, embellishing, lying machine. Besides, what's wrong with a lie if it makes life more interesting?
What's wrong with a lie? It corrupts the ability of others to behave freely and rationally.
Men never act freely and rationally anyway. It matters not what is or isn't in the end. The only important thing is how you feel. And I simply want to feel and consume as much as I can. Don't you?
Feelings are simply one's animal ancestry trying to wrest back control of the brain. I try to avoid the distraction.
You try not to feel, even in a place like this? None of it moves you?
To be frank, I struggle to maintain even a whit of interest in art.
But, Mr. Holmes, it is joy incarnate, mankind's greatest achievement.
Mankind's highest achievement above all others is objective and rational thought.
I see, then, why you dislike art, for it means whatever you want it to.
Or, perhaps, Mr. Vogel, I was lying.
Aha.
Mr. Vogel, my investigation has revealed that the intrusion was not merely vandalism, but theft. The limping visitor left your place with a canvas.
That's very impressive.
This thief was familiar with the gallery and he was sporting a limp. Do any of your clients or artists come to mind?
My, your attention to detail is remarkable, Mr. Holmes. I should introduce you to Bosch's works. Alas, I'm afraid I cannot suggest a culprit.
The fire was a clever attempt to hide a stolen painting, even if it didn't fool me. I found the remnants of an empty frame in the pile of ashes. The canvas had been removed. Do you know which paintings in the Wild Room may have interested a thief? Were any particularly expensive?
Those pieces belong to a well-known artist named Boniface Mercurio. They're controversial, but not of a notably high value.
The intruder entered the basement through the coal chute. He used a magnet to open the latch and dislodged the shovel while doing so. That's the noise you heard yesterday. When you went downstairs to investigate, he hid in the coffin.
It seems I should have checked the space more thoroughly.
There's something more, is there not? I can see it in your eyes.
Indeed. There is another intriguing angle. I recently received an anonymous offer for one of Mercurio's works. The sum was more than fair, and indeed could have saved Mercurio from his artistic poverty. But he declined it.
Was it a performative whim? Some artists lionize pain and hardship as if their work would be worse after a meal and a hot bath.
I cannot tell. But not only did he refuse the deal, he insisted on displaying the painting in the public space. I was hoping to change his mind, but artists are a special breed of stubborn.
So where can I find Boniface Mercurio?
I know he lives somewhere in Old City, but couldn't be more specific. He's a prominent figure, so finding him shouldn't be a problem.
What was depicted in the piece?
A bound woman, wrapped in robes, being penetrated by a red devil that stared at us, the viewer. The beast had numerous tails growing from his back, and a large crowd gathered around the pair, silently watching the orgiastic scene.
Okay, well, given the nature of the other works on display, it's hard to see why that one stood out. What could possibly be its value?
The evaluation of art is very subjective, Mr. Holmes. After all, art is everything. A poem, a bruise, the beads of sweat on your beloved skin. Even a masterfully solved crime.
I'm not sure I see the connection.
Regardless, the painting was one of a series called The Sabbath Night in Cordona. The works depict sex, violence, and other controversial acts that life, for better or worse, contains.
Ah, I see.
I'm not sure that you do, but that can wait for another time.
Well, I believe I have enough to begin. Thank you, Mr. Vogel. Your gallery certainly has unexpected depths.
I'm delighted to have been able to please a friend. In return, I expect you to come back with good news. Or at least with a good story.
Oriental rugs.
Don't pop. Let's pick something that suits you. A good choice. A good choice indeed. Don't pass by. Welcome, welcome.
Oriental rugs at a good price.
Boniface, sweetie. Is that you? Ah, old age does terrible things to one's sight. I didn't recognize you at first.
How are you, Mum? I'm ashamed to admit that I've lost my key. Do you have a spare?
For heaven's sake! How many times will you lose that key of yours? Of course I have a spare. You artists all live in your own little world.
Please, accept my thanks.
I would rather accept your rent. You promised to pay me several weeks ago, and I'm still waiting.
I will pay you, I promise, very soon.
You'd better do, my dear. Or else I'll just change the lock. And I won't fall for those cow eyes.
The wound is precise. It was inflicted by a razor or a knife. Judging by post-mortem rigidity, the body lay here for 1 or 2 days. Soaked in blood. It seems as if the puddle of blood was here before the rags. A normal kitchen knife. Could be the murder weapon. The blood has dried.
I've heard of this style of painting. It is called Expressionism.
It appears the wine was truly awful. Despite the overall tendency towards mess, you cannot sit with the drawer pulled out like this. Someone left it after searching. I wonder where he got that fancy camera. Red skin, tails on the back, reminds me of Werder's description of the stolen painting. chest has been searched. Aunt May whiskey, brandy bucks. Quite a collection he had here. The photograph was not pulled out in time. Such a waste of material. Look at this, John. Isn't it our stolen demon?
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Mercurio was developing photographs when the intruder snuck in. Mercurio heard him coming. While the thief was searching the chest, the painter ran towards him with a bottle in his hand. He smashed it across the thief's head. The intruder had no choice but to defend himself, and the weapon of opportunity happened to be a kitchen knife. Mercurio stepped aside to grab the painting, but the wine-blinded thief attacked Mercurio's throat. When the thief came to his senses, he saw Mercurio bleeding on the floor. He grabbed the rags and tried to bandage him, but it was too late. Why did Mercurio attempt to snatch the painting in the middle of a fight? To strike the intruder? Not with his painting, it was too important to him. It's time for some chemical magic, John.
That doesn't look like the painting we need, Sherry.
As expected, but that doesn't mean it won't tell us anything. Let's put it on the easel where it belongs. I guess this is his most ordinary painting. Spot the two differences, John? If the intruder didn't take it, the skull should be somewhere here. Monster was actually a man. Poor girl. John, you ought to be thrilled. We are now hunting the devil himself.
What were you saying, Sherry? I was too busy sketching the scene, you know, crimes and such like, daily routine. Did you find something?
A photograph. It depicts a man in a red suit with tails sprouting from his back and multiple people in masks watching the scene. It all adds up, but the act of love, it wasn't given willingly, John. It was a violation, and the girl, She was with child.
Give that to me now. Did you recognize someone?
No. Although the victim is not from Cordona, she is African. Look at the ritual scars on her face.
Get that image out of your brain. You have to continue the investigation.
I must speak to the landlady. Perhaps she saw or heard something.
Sherry, you cannot tell her the truth about Mercurio. It will hurt her.
John, that's illogical. Sooner or later, she will come here and discover a corpse, and I still need to talk to her.
Just avoid mentioning corpse, all right? Stick to the character, tell her to call the police.
I'll take that into account.
And wait here. I've redrawn the people in the photograph. Now you can proceed with your investigation without those horrific details.
What's wrong, dear? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Can you tell me if anyone else has recently entered the flat?
Oh, you're talking about that limping man. I'm sorry I let him in. I was scared. And I thought maybe he would motivate you to find money so that you would pay your rent. No offense, dear.
Can you describe him?
Oh, so you weren't at home. I was so certain you didn't leave your flat that day. He was of average height, had a limp and a tattoo on his neck, and he was smoking Malpal cigarettes. My husband used to smoke those. They have a horrible smell I can recognize from a mile away.
Can I ask a favor?
Of course, dearie.
Please call the police and ask them to enter the flat, and don't look inside until they come up.
What? What trouble have you stepped in this time?
It really doesn't matter. Thank you, Mum.
Whew, Sherry, that was close. But you did... everything correctly. Now, take off your outfit. I can't let you walk around in a dead man's clothes.
Is this familiar to you?
I don't know, my friend. Perhaps someone else knows?
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
Eh? Of course I know. To cut a long story short.
Could you help me?
I cannot. Sorry.
Help me, please.
Sounds familiar, but no. Ask someone else.
Time to check your who, what, and what, Sherry.
Help me, please.
Who are you
I wish I
asking
could help you,
about
mister,
what
but I
and
can't.
dressed as what?
Could you help me?
I cannot. Sorry.
Could you help me?
I am sorry to disappoint you, but I don't know about that.
Help me, please.
Excuse my ignorance, but I have no idea.
Beasts!
Murderers!
They're completely livid.
First they come to our land.
Where do you think you're going? Speak with the chief.
Drop them all into the sea!
Sir, this place is off limits to the public. Please state your business or leave, or I shall request that the police escort you out.
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm a private investigator. I'm looking for a witness for a case.
A private investigator? Really? Even so, you're not authorised. I can't let you in.
And you are?
I'm Ronald Harlow, here to handle the refugee situation on behalf of City Hall. I'm the acting supervisor here, so I have full authority here to ask you to leave, or I shall order the police to detain you for trying to pass the blockade. Please, step back.
What about the murder that this crowd keeps shouting about?
It's mere assumption. I assure you that the situation is under the police's control.
I know you want to deal with this in the right way. You are obviously a professional and a responsible person, but you clearly have never handled a situation like this before.
I am handling it, Mr. Holmes. Don't question my capability here.
And tell me how you do it. You can't even calm this gathered crowd, and as for the police, they're not quite managing it either, are they? You consider yourself a problem solver, but until today, you've been solving problems sitting at your desk in a dark corner of a city hall room. Here, you need a more practical approach.
What are you driving at, Mr. Holmes?
I can help you to handle the situation if you're truly interested in solving things quickly and quietly.
And how exactly would you manage that?
Simply tell the police that I'm with City Hall and I'm permitted to investigate the scene. I'll work out the rest, but in return I need your help finding my witness. She's a young refugee. She's with child or was with child recently.
Look, there is indeed a dead body inside the camp. So even if the girl you are looking for is there, all the refugees are now being detained and interrogated by the police. They won't allow you to speak with her, and I can't do anything about that until the situation settles down.
So it's in our mutual interest to settle it.
Oh. I suppose that things are bad enough that I ought not shy away from help. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell the police to allow you to come inside. Just tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready to take a look at the scene.
All right. Go inside the camp and find Inspector Tewkesbury. He's the officer investigating the...
So they keep these refugees under a bridge like proverbial...
Who the hell are you? How did you get in here?
Mr. Ronald Harlow let me in, sir. I'm Sherlock Holmes, a surveyor of refugee affairs with City Hall. You're Inspector Tewkesbury, I presume?
A surveyor? What does that even mean?
In short, I've been sent to conduct an extensive report on the incident for the Colonial Office and to assess all the damage inflicted on state property.
Got it. Another paperworm sent to count money and get food for archive mold. Go on, look around, but don't make yourself too at home. As if I didn't have enough problems before you appeared.
Could you first tell me what happened here?
What happened? People from the bridge above the camp heard a woman screaming and saw a mass of refugees attacking a man. Clearly not a refugee. When the camp guards came by, the man was floating in the sewage canal with a knife in his chest. Bam. A murder. Big news for Cordona.
I'm sure. Thank you, Inspector. Did you learn anything about the dead man?
The fellow looks like a thug. I've had dozens like him fished out of the sea over the past 20 years. Ever since these refugees arrived, there have been people on Cordona with bad blood in them. My best bet is that this thug had something against them too.
And no clue as to his identity?
He had some items on his body, but nothing to indicate who he was or where he was from.
I think I should catalogue his possessions in my records.
Go on. They're on the table near the body.
And none of the refugees were harmed?
One fellow was cut. He's lying over there near their kitchen. He's in a bad way.
You mentioned a woman screaming who attracted the bypassers on the bridge. Was she harmed?
No, she's all right, but perhaps the whole debacle started because of her. She started wailing and the refugees stood up for the girl.
And where is this young woman now?
Back there in the shacks, same as the rest of the refugees. She's been questioned by my men, but she's just some refugee girl. Can't understand much English.
Do you have any suspects yet?
You're joking, right? I've got a whole camp full of suspects. And if you ask me, this bloke had it coming. Better bury him and forget about the whole thing. And now there's a crowd gathered at the camp, and my superiors say we must thoroughly interrogate the refugees. At least those who can understand any English.
Do you believe that your superiors wish to get rid of the refugees?
I think that both our superiors would rather keep the story quiet. Since that's an unaffordable luxury now, they're looking how to protect their public image. That's why I have to waste my time waiting for my people to turn every stone and befriend every refugee.
Here we go again. Number of hours on Cordona before stumbling upon another dead body. 0.
Clearly a left handprint here. A furrow in the ground. A blood trail leading to or from the canal. Someone bled profusely here. A fresh crack, as if the crate was hit recently.
These events have fractured into so many pieces. But I know you can collect them all, Sherlock.
Police boots. Always happy. A heavy boot with a worn-out sole. A man's footprint. Oh, carnelian agate beads, a traditional African adornment. No hint of blood or impact. It might have been used as an improvised weapon. The blood sprayed off the blade after the strike. Someone was dragged against their will. £1,000. A fair sum, especially considering British currency isn't very common in Cordona. Malpal, soaked with salt water. A simple leather sheath. Perfect for a dirk. Heavy boots, with one sole far more worn than the other. This man was limping John. A steel dirk, sharp, a common accessory among sailors and soldiers. An interesting tattoo. Does it mean something? I'd say the blade penetrated upward, however the wound is too messy to be certain. Coal dust under the nails. I don't see much coal around here. A violent death. This man, limping. Coal dust. I think we're onto something here, John.
You know, Sherry, it's dawned on me to not clown around with knives anymore.
The cut is deep, potentially serious if not treated immediately. He is in shock, feverish and dehydrated.
Sherry, you know first aid. Surely you have a duty to help this man. You can't leave him to certain death.
You know what? I'd like to understand.
What?
How did our dead man end up inside the camp in the first place? Just washed. Better than nothing to bandage the wound. I'll use it to create a solution. It won't do any good. That will kill, not save him.
The refugees have been detained and will not leave until all the circumstances are clarified.
I can use this to stop the infection from spreading. I've collated all the ingredients, now to prepare the first aid solution.
Thank you.
This should make you feel better, my friend. Now remain lying down and drink as much water as you can.
Well done, Sherry. At least he won't die from the infection. Well done, Sherry. At least he won't die from the infection.
Is this familiar to you? Unfortunately, my casebook is empty on this. I've collated all the ingredients, now to prepare the first aid solution.
Thank you.
This should make you feel better, my friend. Now remain lying down and drink as much water as you can.
Well done, Sherry. At least he won't die from the infection.
It's unlikely anyone could get in or out of the camp by water without alerting the police guards.
If they find out about the passage, everything will go wrong. Nobody will know anything if you keep your bloody mouth shut.
The coppers smell fishy here, Sherry. Perhaps we should
Sealed shut.
sniff around.
I doubt
Sherry,
our man
just
could
look
get
at
through these
this.
grates.
Living quarters in a sewer. What kind of a genius bureaucrat came up with this idea?
No, it's too short for these walls or cliffs. A single Malpal butt. Roadman cigarettes. A brand highly regarded by law enforcement officers. So there wasn't any sophisticated infiltration plan. The good old police just let the man into the camp. Now we have everything we need to get the full picture of what happened at the camp.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate. You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
So, we have a thug who came to take a refugee woman with him. She resisted, but he dragged her by force. One of the refugees stood in his way, armed with a stick, yet he could do nothing against a cutthroat with a blade. The man didn't anticipate that the other refugees would intervene and stand against him. In the confusion, the woman managed to break free. The thug took fright and fled. He was stopped by the falling crates. He stumbled and fell, piercing his chest with his own blade. However, the wound didn't cause instant death. He managed to stand, but still bleeding, he lost his balance on the bridge and fell. Before all of this, the man had freely entered the camp through the main entrance. The police admitted him after they had a short smoke together.
You live by the sword, you die by the sword. In our man's case, it's the same sword.
You still here?
I'll just look around and do my paperwork. You won't even notice me.
You still here?
Inspector, I believe I can aid your investigation. I know who the dead man is and what really happened here.
You do? Well, good for you. But I'm afraid I'm not the one you need to share your findings with. Speak to Mr. Harlow here. He's the one responsible for settling things in the camp.
You don't even care to listen?
Oh, I do care. And maybe even more than I need to. But I'm only here today to lock the place up, question witnesses, and file the facts. It's sad, but coming up with conclusions is not among my tasks here. You fellows at City Hall do that. Anyway, speak to the supervisor. I'll just stand by and listen to what you have to say. Your problem, not mine.
The guards at the sewers were speaking about taking refugees out of the camp. Do you know anything about this, Inspector?
Less than you do, obviously.
And this doesn't bother you as an officer of the law?
I can neither punish them nor put them on the right track, if that's what you're asking. Maybe your friends at City Hall could do something about it, but I seriously doubt that. To be honest, I'm sick and tired of being frowned on for my uniform. If those fine gentlemen you've eavesdropped on are in some shady business, that's on their heads.
Mr. Harlow, your refugees didn't murder anyone.
What? Pray tell me what you've learned.
All right, listen carefully. This might solve one problem for you, but will create a few more.
Oh, well, that's a great start.
The man came to the camp intending to kidnap one of your refugees, a woman. What he didn't expect was that the refugees would stand up to protect the woman. A brawl had broken out. In the chaos of it, the man stumbled over those crates and fell on his own blade.
How do you know he fell on his own blade?
The wound in his chest was inflicted from an unusual angle. It was not an offensive stab, shall we say. The refugees didn't touch him. And judging by the blood at the scene, the intruder managed to raise himself but was unable to walk very far. He ultimately fell into the canal.
But how did he sneak into the camp? Why didn't the police see him?
And this is where your new problems emerge, Mr. Harlow.
What do you mean?
You're not a dull-witted man. You know what I mean. There is no feasible way to get into the camp without the police guards knowing of it.
The pile of mess I had to sort out has just become bigger, but somehow that doesn't surprise me. Anyway, I thank you for your help, Mr. Holmes. I'll take it from here. Meanwhile, I'll make sure the police aren't detaining the refugees any longer. You can go back in and look for your witness.
You think one small clerk can make any difference in this place?
Who knows, John? Just one... ill-fitting cog could make the whole machine crumble. Help me, please.
They often take us from the camps to work. Most don't mind, though. It's the only way we get a glimpse of freedom.
So there's a smuggling ring in the camp. This wasn't the first time that someone freely entered the camp to take a refugee out.
At least it was certainly his last time. My gut tells me that we'll learn more about this ring when we find out where the thug came from.
May I ask for your assistance?
Sorry. We don't see much here.
These events have fractured into so many pieces. But I know you can collect them all, Sherlock.
You're the one who tended to our man's wounds. I thank you greatly. The police didn't allow us to help him.
The police will leave you alone now. I've proven to them that the man who came into the camp died due to his own foolishness.
Thank you for standing up for us. But nobody would help us without a reason. You're here because you want something.
Yes, I do. I need to speak with the girl drawn here.
The dead man came for her too. He wanted to take the girl away, but we won't allow her to be hurt again. What do you want from Nayla?
Nayla. She was hurt some time ago. I'm here to find the people who did this and bring them to justice. And to find them, I need Nayla's help. Will you let me speak to her?
Justice. There's no justice on this land. But you helped us, so maybe your words are not empty. You can speak to Nayla, if she wants it. But I will be watching you.
Hello, Nayla? My name is Sherlock. I know someone hurt you. I am here to help. I'm trying to find the people involved and bring them to justice. Please. There is a photograph, and I'm sorry, it is terrible, but I simply must ask. Where did this happen? What can you tell me about these people? Christ, Sherlock. Nayla, I'm sorry. I'm not very good at this.
You come here for me, but you are rude and cruel and condescending. A cross. The man had this cross. Now go away. Leave us be. I do not need another white man's help.
Oh, glad that wasn't me.
Not my best work, John, by a long shot. Nayla doesn't want us meddling. I'm starting to wonder what this all achieves.
But she helped you anyway. Now we know that maniac's face and the cross he wore, we can still catch him.
I owe you a lot, Mr. Holmes.
You still here? Your problem, not mine.
The intruder has a most peculiar tattoo on his neck, 2 lines and a point. Do you know anything about it?
You really want to know, kid? Why? You want to play a policeman or something?
I'm sure you have it in your records, so it won't hurt if I have it in mine.
In my records, it's just a tattoo, as it should be in yours. Ah, to hell with you. Suit yourself as to what you're going to do with it. Off the record, though, Such tattoos are often connected to a man named Mr. Niccolo Bernadotti.
Bernadotti, you say?
A respectable businessman in Scalario. His company imports goods and wines, and smuggles everything that can be smuggled between the colonies and the mainland. His people can be identified by an obscure tattoo, just like the one over there our friend has. But these are all merely rumors, you see. If Mr. Bernadotti was a criminal, he'd be in prison now. Or hanged, right?
If you're here on matters of signing up for military service, come back tomorrow. Our department needs to straighten out some business. Why are you staring at me like I'm a Madame Tussauds figure? Didn't you hear what I just said?
On my way here, I was wondering whether you might regret what you did. I tried my best to retain at least a shred of faith in humanity. I had hoped that